Today, I'm going to share with you a few stories and examples of how to express gratitude through our words. I'd like to read a couple sentences that I wrote last week. If thankfulness was the ground in the landscape of our thoughts and words, we would see a great peace and beauty spread upon this world. Being thankful is being grateful for the big and the small things in our lives. During the past couple of weeks, when I've been reflecting on gratitude, I went to the store natural food store that I shop in, and I picked up a magazine by Oprah Winfrey, and it was the Thanksgiving issue, and she was in the front outside, I guess, on her patio with all the Thanksgiving goodies on the table. And in the magazine, she asked people to, during this time of challenge, to write down what they are thankful for and express to her readers these thankfulness. And there was this one fellow that has an apartment in New York, and he has a little patio. On a little patio, he's planted a little fruit tree, which he's not able to. He works from home, and he every morning he goes out with his cup of coffee and just greets his little fruit tree. And he said that he is becoming more and more thankful for that little tree, the shape of its leaves, the color of the beautiful fall colors. It's the simple things. And during this time, it's a good opportunity to slow down and look at the little blessings that are all around us. Great teachers have talked about mindfulness, being in the present moment. When we're in the present moment, we can feel this sense of thankfulness rising up within us. During the last couple of weeks, I have been saying thank you to the things that I have in my environment. And in a calm place, I'm realizing that that when I say thank you, it creates an energy of peace. Sometimes an image of a person that I'm having trouble with, personalities are clashing, and if I just say thank you for that person, I kind of flip the coin. It's not easy because the mind has been grued with all these responses towards people or events or places that we're uncomfortable with and challenges in our lives. Many years ago, I came to this path of Sunburst. Norman Paulson was giving a talk, an initiation at our first community. It was one of the first times I've heard him speak. And he oftentimes talked about being thankful to Great Spirit for the blessing of this life. And over the years, the ministers of Sunburst and people have expressed this thankfulness in giving their prayers. And this is so wonderful, because not only is thankfulness is actually spread upon the world. It's spread all over the world. And this time of year is a wonderful time to really practice thankfulness and gratefulness. Yesterday I was meditating, and I had a thought that this image of Martin Luther King giving the I Have a Dream speech on August 28th, 1963, in front of the Lincoln Memorial, and spread before him was over 1 million souls around the big reflecting pool, going out into the distance. I'd like to read the last couple sentences of that speech, because I feel that what he was expressing was thankfulness for the Great Spirit, for God. From every mountainside, let freedom ring. And when this happens, and when we allow freedom ring, when we let it ring for every village and every hamlet, from every state and every city, we will be able to speed up that day when all of God's children, black men and white men, Jews and Gentiles, Protestants and Catholics, will be able to join hands and sing the words of the old Negro spiritual, free at last, free at last. Thank God Almighty, we are free at last. As I left the room, or the meditation room at the farm, after Norm gave the initiation, I felt like I was floating in the air. The sun, the afternoon sun, was shining overhead, and the beautiful landscape before me of the mountains. At that moment, I felt maybe something like Dr. Martin Luther King felt when he gave that speech in great courage and faith that in the future these seeds would grow. We have come a long way, but we've got a long way to go. As we enter the quiet time, I'd like to, if you don't have a meditation practice, there's a simple tool that we can use to quiet the mind and open us up to thankfulness, so that our words to others will be more kind and more understanding. We can close our eyes and become aware of our breath, the inhalation and the exhalation. If our eyes flutter, just gently close them. And feel relaxed. Notice any tension, shoulders, or are especially tight sometimes. Just follow the breath in these few precious moments as we tap into that divine source, which is all love and all peace, and through that desire in our heart, we can express gratitude and thankfulness for Divine Spirit giving us that place within where we can be sheltered from the passing storms. In the summer of 1974, I was herding goats in the backcountry, Southern California. And our crew just finished a long day herding the goats over hill and dale and building a stock corral to protect them at night. And boy, was I hungry. And then someone said, "Oh, we forgot to pack the food." Oh, gee. So she fished out a little bag of rice from the satchel on the donkey, and put on the pot on the camp stove, and passed around the bowl and helped us. We helped each other. Took a helping, and plopped it into my little wooden bowl. And I sat there in that fire, in the warm fire in the distance there, around my brothers and sisters. And as I took a bite, it was the best food that I've ever eaten. It filled my stomach and it filled my soul. And we thanked each other, and we thanked Spirit for that simple food. The thing I realized looking back at almost 50 years is that experience is repeated over and over again. And like 400 years ago, almost to the day, the Plymouth Pilgrims were eating the first Thanksgiving and going through all those hardships. I imagine they too experienced this sense of thankfulness from deep within in looking at the simple meal that they had prepared for themselves. I'd like to end the service with an excerpt from Norm Paulson. What a wonderful privilege it is to have these bodies, these hands, these hearts, to know one another, to look upon one another. These are the simple blessings of life. We can forget in our mad quest to fulfill our selfish desires. So as we go forth in this beautiful day, let us be thankful that within us lies all peace and happiness, and be thankful for these hands, these minds, these senses, to be creative and to thrive.
Let thy whisper in the temple of silence guide me to the right path. Let thy whisper in the temple of silence guide me to the right path that leads to thee. To thee, that leads to thee, that leads to thee, that leads to thee. Let thy whisper in the temple of silence. Guide me to the right path. Let thy whisper in the temple of silence guide me to the right path that leads to thee, 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 that leads to thee. Let thy whisper in the temple of silence guide me to the right path. Let thy whisper in the temple of silence guide me to the right path that leads to thee, 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 that leads to thee. Let thy whisper in the temple